Welcome back, everyone. It's the Produce Moms Stories from the Front Line in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I will say that I feel like each and every week we are finding ourselves in a more promising and optimistic place. Today's guest is Jim McErlean. And Jim is the Senior Vice President of Sales at NatureSweet Tomatoes. I know I'm not alone when I say it's one of my family's favorite produce department items. We always have a little container of cherubs on the center kitchen island at all times. And we're very proud to be working with NatureSweet in a brand partnership with the Produce Moms. For those of you that follow the trade press in agriculture, you have maybe heard about some of the things that Jim is going to talk about. They've shared some of the remarkable ways that they've responded to this pandemic at NatureSweet. We're just going to focus on that today, Jim.
Thanks for having me. I'm watching your weekly updates on the Produce Moms. I'm flattered to be part of it. Obviously, the situation that's affected the industry has been not only unprecedented, but it's really been challenging, at times exhilarating, frustrating. There's many words you can put to it. It's really from NatureSweet. It's given us an opportunity to let our associates shine and some of the things that we already have in place really bring to life. We just celebrated our 27th year as a company. Our company is really all about our associates. And when you get into this type of situation, it is truly about priority of safety of our associates, their families, their community, and also our retail partners and customers. So really that's the approach that we've taken from the beginning of this. Like most companies, we have a COVID task force that we rely on. There's several teams that meet every single day, and we continue to reinforce our safety protocols, our sanitation protocols. And I think what's been most interesting about the current situation, at least from the way we perceive it, is how do we continue to meet our customers' expectations, consumer expectations, which, as you said, and I appreciate you being a Cherubs consumer, is to make product the highest quality product available every day, no matter what the situation is. Our safety has been our number one priority, but that's really been our priority from our customer base. And so that's the approach we've taken day in and day out.
Really, as a company that's been so focused on your workforce in a really unique way, it's one reason the NatureSweet brand is a favorite of mine personally. As I learned more about your company culture, what additional measures did you have to take? You mentioned that you have this COVID-19 task force. Help everyone listening today, consumers, trade, understand what that really means.
We have over 7,000 associates. Our goal is continue to improve the lives of our agricultural workers, or our associates. Like I said, safety comes first. So we looked at it in several different ways. We looked at it from an associate support standpoint, which is our workers, their families, because they're impacted also by the new norm in this situation, and then the communities that they live in and participate in. From an associate standpoint, a safety plan implementation that we had in place, but that we put in place includes obviously changes in our facilities, supporting social distancing, supporting safety measures, more sanitation enhancements in our facilities, temperature checks every day, an audit every day, from a safety perspective, from a health perspective. And I think the other thing that we've really focused on is how do we support the heroes or the frontline workers that we have that are working day in and day out in our facilities to make sure that it's a seamless operation while we're going through the situation. So we've done extra things for our families, extra pay for some of our workers. We've done free lunch Fridays. We've done different shift changes or enhancement of shift changes so we have the right amount of resources at the right time, because the industry has also changed. There's been different consumer behavior based on the situation where what we were expecting of certain days of shopping have now changed. Certain hours of shopping have changed. The demand has changed, and we've been able to react and adapt to those situations.
When I read the press release and a little bit more about what you all were doing, one thing that really stuck out to me, and it just goes right in line with how NatureSweet values the human capital, really, was the family support, how that transcended into just the well-being, to the point where NatureSweet was doing things like sending board games home to your employees and doing other goodwill within the communities where you grow and have operations. So can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. That's been part of the fun part of this, right?
Yeah.
We know a lot lives have been changed with our associates. All of us have had to work at home more often. Some haven't been able to move out of the home. We've tried to make sure that the associates are comfortable at home. We've sent board games, and we try to have a cadence of entertainment help at home for the family. We've sent trivia, puzzles. We've sent grocery packs, so our associates that aren't able to get out and shop or aren't able as often to shop, as we've seen the consumers are making less trips. And really from a safety perspective, Lori, we've sent safety kits. So it's really not just our associates at work, but it's covering their families also. We've also extended that to the communities they live in. So it's not just our associates we're trying to cover.
Providing face masks to the community.
Face masks, disinfectants, spray bottles, guidance on how to be more health conscious and how to be more safe conscious, with letters to families and letters to communities. And we know communities are extremely important. From other areas that we've tried to participate from a community standpoint is donation of food, donation to food banks, both in Mexico and the U.S. areas, Atlanta and Texas, where we have facilities and headquarters.
It's a $5 million product donation. It's a pretty tremendous commitment to the communities as well.
It is, and you mentioned the NatureSweet culture at the beginning, and it really didn't take a situation like this for us to have that kind of culture and that kind of intent to take care of associates and communities. We fortunately have blessed. We do it day in and day out, but this has given us an opportunity to even be more conscious of others.
Jim is absolutely true with that. So for every mom like me that has the cherub tomatoes on your kitchen island day in and day out, I always tell my colleagues at NatureSweet and anyone that I have the opportunity to share my love for this brand with them, this is absolutely an example of a product that you can find in most produce departments throughout the United States, and it is absolutely more than a tomato. It's really a product and a company that is committed to empowering and just raising the human spirit and lifting up the communities that they serve day in and day out.
Yes, thank you, Lori.
It's been great hearing these stories and this perspective from what you all did at NatureSweet as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I didn't realize that there were task force that were actually assembled within the produce industry. Many of the people we've talked to and work with are in the same position, but I'm glad you brought that up so that people know these are planful, mindful, very strategic, yet swift actions that are being taken by their favorite fruit and vegetable brands.
Thanks. And it's been very beneficial that it's on a daily basis. So we're trying to take things in stride as they come, because there's very unpredictable situation. But it's really all about the safety of not only our products to the consumer, but also our associates is our number one priority. One of the areas that we've encouraged our associates is guaranteeing paid leave compensation. If you're not feeling well, don't feel like you have to come to work. And I think that that's been very appreciative from our associates in order for us to continue to have the commitment we do from our associates.
Absolutely. So important. Well, Jim, I've really enjoyed our time together today. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your leadership and the great work that the whole team at NatureSweet is doing day in and day out, but especially during this challenging time. So thank you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.